All right. So, hey, with respect to men's ministries, men's conferences, men's retreats, um, I went to a retreat a couple years ago and I thought it was really cool. 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Anyway, it was a while back. But anyway, I went to this men's conference and when we went in, I thought it was really cool. They had all sorts of stuff to do: putt-putt golfing, axe throwing, Jenga, football kicking, darts, ping pong. They had all kinds of activities and stuff. And then they had a speaker and they had food trucks. Oh my. I'm a big fan of food trucks. The second day, they had all the same activities out. You just kind of wander around, do your thing. Except I think they had donuts and coffee to get you kind of started. And then they had a speaker, followed by lunch, more food trucks. And then a second speaker, and they wrapped the day up, and it was cool. I left there and I said, man, that was a lot of fun. I really, really enjoyed that. And the next year rolls around, and I showed up, and it was exactly the same thing. The only thing that changed were the speakers and the food trucks. And at first I was kind of bothered because I really, really, really am sensitive to people that pencil whip. And so after thinking about it a little longer, I realized, you know what? The problem isn't that somebody was lazy. The problem is just that people are really short on time. That's the real issue, is that there's just not a mountain of time for people to put into stuff like this. I know that for me, when I'm at the end of a long week, that my creativity starts to flag. Coming up with ideas is a struggle. When something works, I sometimes don't screw with it. And and it got me to thinking, hey, you know what? There were two things that got to running around in my head. One was, could I create a tool and a place where people could come and they could get ideas for men's conferences, for stuff to do at a men's conference? Could I put together something where people were able to actually give me ideas for things to do at a men's conference that would be a lot of fun, memorable? Most people would physically be capable of doing it. Nobody's going to die, and everybody's going to have a super memorable time. And maybe it'll be different from year to year, right? So what I've got is my website. This tool is not on there yet. mensdevelopmentday.com is going to have this tool. The other thing that I decided that I'm going to work on, because I realized that at the men's conference that I went to, I live in the Pacific Northwest, and in the Pacific Northwest, it is how do I want to say it? There is, when I go places, I just see a lot of people that look just like me. I see a lot of white people, right? And I see a few Hispanics, few Asians, and just a tiny group of black folk, right? Now, what I got to thinking was, I wonder what a men's conference or a men's retreat looks like at a black church in the South. They're probably doing the worship a little different. They're probably doing the food different. They're probably doing different games, but I don't know what games they're doing. What happens if I go to a men's retreat that's at a Korean church or a Chinese church, right? Will I need a translator? Do they speak, like, I'm assuming that they're probably going to be speaking Chinese, depending on the church, right? What happens if I go to, so I really, really, really don't like animals a whole lot. I know. I really, really, really don't like, I don't really enjoy pets. I don't really enjoy horses. Horses kind of freak me out. And I got to thinking, do you remember there was a show called Dirty Jobs? And this dude traveled the country looking for the dirtiest jobs so that he could show them off and talk about them. And then he just made himself filthy doing the job. And I thought, man, you know what? You know what would be cool? What if I went to, what if I went to a retreat in Colorado where they ride horses? And horse riding is part of the men's retreat. Whew. That would be a thing. I'll do that. That might be entertaining. What do they do at a men's conference? They've got men's conferences in the dead of winter in Minnesota. I found one that they do a polar plunge. Ooh. Ooh. I've been looking around and racking my brain trying to figure out what kinds of retreats are out there that would expand my experiences. What would make it so? Because okay, so here's my real goal. I want people to watch the video and say, that's pretty cool, right? Like that's not my people, right? If I showed up there, I would stand out. Like I know that when I show up to a conference in the South that is a primarily black church kind of a thing, right? Where it's an AME, and a church where a retreat that is denominationally geared toward black folk, that I'm going to be the white bald guy. You know, I'm not even going to go and work on my tan. I'm just going to show up pale and pasty and bald and ready to go. And I'm going to join right in the best I can with the music and the food and whatever, right? I'm gonna jump right in on the experience. Now, what I think my goal, my purpose, is that people would watch it and go, dude, you know, that's pretty cool. Like that's a different way of doing it, and I like it. I like the way that they did their food. And so a church that's in Indiana will see some of the stuff that was done in Georgia, or they see some of the stuff that was done in Southern California or the Pacific Northwest, and they go, hey, you know what? I've never thought about doing that. So like when I was talking about putt-putt golf and Jenga and axe throwing, I would say that there are probably some churches that go, axe throwing? I guess axe throwing? That could be kind of fun. And, you know, if it's run properly, nobody's going to get hurt. That would be cool. I'd love an event that was kind of fun and nobody got hurt. Come on. So anyway, my goal is to put together some stuff. So in the comments, if there are some really interesting things that you have seen, you went to a men's conference and you saw something that was really cool and that struck you as interesting and unique, I want you to leave that in the comments, please, because I'm putting together a tool so that busy men that are putting together a men's retreat or a men's conference can come to a place and they can look over the list of things that are done at men's conferences, and they can just get ideas. And I think that would be a great service to the church at large. And you know what? I almost said the church in America, but I just realized that, hey, you know what? I can't imagine that they don't do some sort of a men's retreat, some sort of thing where the men get together and say, hey, you know what? We're going to take a few days out and we're going to do stuff with our boys. We're going to do like the other men. We're going to do stuff with our kids, and that sort of thing. So that is what I would love to get from you. Get it on. Okay, I am Adam Funderburg. This is Men's Development Day, and this is actually a request. It's not really a training, teaching, or anything. So if you can help me out, I would appreciate it. And if you can connect me with somebody, if you can connect me with somebody that could come on and talk about men's conferences, talk about men's retreats, talk about what goes into them, that would be super cool too. All right, I'm Adam Funderburg. I'm out of here. Bye.